Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy. Today we're talking about disaster recovery. And I don't know, I live in southeast Louisiana. I don't know about other places. I'm sure there's lots of places in the country where you have power outages. We have lots of storms that roll through here. The power goes out and you lose a job midstream. And not only do you lose the job, but you lose the material as well. And if you're working with some expensive material, some walnut or mahogany or whatever it might be, you're going to be sorry that you lost that material. I can tell you that some of the materials I use, they run up to $100 or more for just that one piece. So, and especially if you're doing like a custom job for somebody else where they built something and you're engraving their logo on it. Oh my gosh, that could be a nightmare. So I've always had a UPS here in the office. I've had a 1,000-watt UPS, and that's fine. When the power goes out, I can still work for, an hour or two and before I shut everything down and do a good shutdown. And the worst thing that can happen to a PC is to have the plug pulled on it, especially if it's writing files. So you don't want that to happen either. So I've always kept one here in the office. I have a new DaranEner 2000 watt that I have for the shop. And that might be a little overkill, but today we're going to test it out and we're going to find out exactly what happens when the power goes out. So you're not going to want to miss this because I think this is a great episode. It's going to keep you from losing work, and you don't have to get the big 2000 watt. You can get anything from the 300 watt all the way up to what I have if you want to power the whole shop for a while. So let's jump into the video real quick and let's talk about the setup. I'm going to actually run a job and simulate a power outage so that you can see what happens and if I can complete the job. So I think you're going to enjoy this video. Let's go. Okay, so I've got everything set up here. I've got down below there. Let me move the camera so you can see it better. I've got the DaranEner UPS. And it is at 100% plugged into the wall. And then I've also got my laptop plugged into that, which is at about 10% right now, so it's going to be charging during this video. And I've got the laser plugged into that as well. And I will move this camera as we go to show you the amount of battery that's left, but I'm going to simulate a power outage as soon as I start this job by unplugging the UPS from the wall, and you'll start to see that number go down, that 100% go down, and I'm going to do that as soon as I start the job. Oh, and I've got the air assist plugged into it as well, so let me turn that on. So now we've got the air assist on, and the only thing that I've got left to do is I'm going to run this job in two different jobs. So I've got to focus the laser before we get started. Bring it to a place where I can focus it. And I now have it ready to do the first job, which is the engraving. So this is going to take a little while to do. I will speed up the video so that you don't have to watch the whole thing, but I'm not going to interrupt the video. So we will turn off the cut path, and now I will frame it. Make sure that everything is in the right place. And it is. And I'm going to go ahead and start this job. Now I've set this up in a way where it's going to take longer than usual by scanning the entire surface back and forth, and I've done that for a reason, because I want to try and use this for as long as possible. And now I'm going to simulate that power outage by unplugging the UPS from the wall. So here we go. Now, I've just unplugged it from the wall, and I want you to notice that there was no interruption in either the laptop or the laser or the air assist. So it is now running solely on batteries. If I come down here and show you, the plug is disconnected. That goes to the wall, which is right here. So it is now running just on battery. It is running the air assist, which is a mechanical pump, as well as the laptop. It's charging the laptop, which was at, I think, 10% when I started this, and it's running the laser engraver. So let's just sit back and let it do its job now, and we're going to watch that screen down below where it says 100% right now, and it is telling us that we're using about 81 watts of power, and I don't see where it says how much time we have left. I think maybe that comes on the screen after a little while. But I did unplug that from the wall. And here is the power cord that plugs into the wall right here. So you can see that it is now operating all on its own on the battery power, and that 100% number that you see down there will start to drop as we go. So let's see what this does. So I want you to, I've slowed this down again because I want you to notice that it has dropped to 99%. So if you see on the screen right down there, we are now at 99%. We've used 1% power so far. And we are at 10 minutes and 19 seconds. Alright, so I'm going to take the camera out of the holder for a minute and just come down here and give you a better look at this. I want you to see that the only things that are plugged in down here are across the top, and that is the air assist on the left, the laser in the middle, and the computer on the right. And we're now at 99% power on the UPS. And this laser has not only the laser but the exhaust fan in the back, and then around on the side here you can see the power supply for the laser, as well as the air pump that's blowing the air assist, and of course my laptop over here, which is also charging. So all of these things are charging, and this seems to be doing really well. It's at 99% right now. And if I read this right, it says I have 29.2 hours of available power on the screen. And actually it just switched to 24.5. Now it's back to 29.5. It's kind of switching back and forth. So I don't know for sure how accurate that is. But I can tell you that it's still at 99% power, which is awesome. So now if I were running a job or something like that, I wouldn't have to worry about the power going out. And I don't know if you noticed when I unplugged it from the wall, it was such a small amount of time before it switched over to battery. It was you know, in milliseconds. I think on the website it's something like 14 milliseconds. I'll have to check on that, but it was very quick. It switched over very quickly. All right, so looking at the LED screen there, you can see now that the power has switched to 98%. We are now 20 minutes and 11 seconds into this job, and it has lost 2% of its reserve. And it's telling me that there is 23 to 24 hours of power left in the battery bank. So I feel really confident that this is not going to be a problem at all, and I don't have to worry. If I had an expensive piece of wood in there, you know, this could be a $25 or a $50 piece of wood. You know, if you get some exotic woods, they're very expensive, and you really wouldn't want to mess it up. So having this battery backup in case of an emergency, the power goes out or whatever might happen, will protect you from losing that job. So we'll go back into a speeded up video now and continue on. Alright, so now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put this LED light, and I don't know how, I think there's like 80 LEDs in this. I'm going to plug this in as well, because thinking about this, you're probably going to need light if your power's gone out as well. So let me go ahead and plug this in. And turn on the USB and turn on this light as well. And now you can see the difference there. I've got the light plugged in. It's a pretty bright light, and I'm going to keep it on. And there's the difference right there, on, off. I'm going to keep this on so that you can see it. So now we have everything that we need. And this light is not very dependable. I don't know why it turns off like that. I think it's just the connection. It's a very cheap light. USB is on. Try a different plug. There we go. Hopefully it stays on this time. I do have a problem with this light going off. And we're just about at the end of this particular job here. No, actually it's got to do the frame up on top. And like I said, I've set this to do this job in the maximum amount of time possible. So I could have made this go much faster, but I wanted to do this so that it would take as long as possible, the longest possible scenario. So right now we're at 27 minutes and 16 seconds, and we're still at 98% power. I'll speed the video up again. So just a quick update, we're at 29 minutes and 43 seconds. We're at 97% power, and we're right in the 100 watt range is what we're drawing, it appears, according to the LED screen on this machine. And 97% is left, which is about 21 hours and 3 minutes. So, you know, I don't think the time estimate on the LED screen is completely accurate, but it is what it is. Okay, so there we go. Job finished. Everything is still running. The exhaust is still running. The air assist is still running. I will bring this camera down here so you can see a little bit better. This is the, and actually let me turn off the LED lights now because we don't need them anymore. And there you can see it is still unplugged from the wall. I've never changed anything. 92% is what's left, about 28, 29 hours. And yeah, so everything came out just fine. My file is completely done. If I open this up, you can see that came out really nice. Everything's cut out and ready to use. So that's about it. And the computer is almost charged. So we're looking at 1 hour, 19 minutes. And that is the total time that this took. And I had no problem whatsoever. Got plenty of power in reserve. I actually ran my entire office off of this and had no problem at all. So excellent job. Disaster recovery, I guess you might call it. All right, so for you folks that have stuck around, and want to know what the facts on this machine are, we are now going to do
Facts for Nerds.
what was that? Okay, so all fooling around aside, let's get into the facts for nerds. All right, so just quickly, my first tests on this machine were really pretty surprising. And I'm not an expert on this, I don't know much about it, but I did take some notes. So, what's in the box is the power station, the user manual, the warranty card, an MC4 to XT60 cable if you want to use solar panels. You do have to remember, though, if you're using solar panels, that it must be 33 to 60 volts. So an easy fix to that, and most single solar panels are not. So if you have two panels, you can put them together. The easy fix to fix 212 volts, which would do the job, is to buy a buck boost voltage regulator on Amazon. It's about $8. And then you have the wires. You plug both cables into that, and then the output is one cable that goes and directly into the UPS. And very simple thing. I picked one up for $8, and I'm about to test it because I do have two solar panels. There are 14 output ports, which is really, really cool. 2,073 watt hours. It is a pure sine wave inverter, 50 or 60 hertz, depending on where you live, here or abroad. 3,500 life cycles to 80%. So that's about 10 years worth of work, maintaining the 80% capacity after 3,500 cycles, and 50% capacity after 6,500 cycles. So that's up to 7 times the life of regular NCM batteries. It's a unibody design, premium LiFePO4 batteries, and patented BMS technology. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. The thing that really surprised me was I got this at 0 power. It wouldn't even turn on. I plugged it into the wall, and I had 100% charge in 1.8 hours, which is incredible. When I got my 1,000 watt, I think it took maybe 10 or 12 hours for it to completely charge. I don't remember, but I know it was a very long time. So the outputs on this, you have USB-A. There are 4 of those with a maximum of 24 watts. You have a cigarette outlet. If you have something like a travel coffee pot or something like that, you can plug it into the cigarette outlet. That's a maximum of 120 watts. It's got wireless charging. I love the big wireless charging pad on top. I had 2 phones on there charging at the same time. You just drop them right on top. I also love the fact that not only does it sit, vertical straight up and down, but you can tilt it back 45 degrees. So if you're standing up, you can see it if it's on the floor. I really like that. That's really cool. The AC power is 2,000 watts. The maximum peak power is 3,000 watts. It's 100 to 120 volts. There is an LED light on it if you need light, and that uses 3 watts. The input maximum is 1,600 watts, 110 volts, 15 amps. So these are just all the details here. It is an uninterruptible power supply, so it will function with no AC power, obviously. Now, I plugged this in at 10:30 a.m. with 100% charge. So here was my very first test. And I plugged in a 55-inch LED TV, a ROG Strix gaming computer, which was running COD2. I was streaming YouTube videos until 4:30 p.m. I charged 4 wireless cameras. I charged a cell phone from 17%, a Samsung Galaxy Fold, Fold, and I charged another cell phone, a Galaxy A5, I think it was, from 29%. At 4:30 p.m., so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hours later, and now I'm playing Call of Duty and running a video on the other screen at the same time. So you know my 1,000 watt power supply in that computer is really sucking some power. I was at 26%. I continued to play Call of Duty until 6:30 p.m. So this is all day now, and I was down to 20%. Now, I did keep an eye on it throughout the day from time to time, and it was at 224 watts most of the day on a 15-foot extension as well. So I had an extension cord run over to the shop table where I have everything set up. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't until 9:30 that night before it was completely depleted, the battery. So that was pretty interesting. 10:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night. So it does have pass-through charging. It does have solar that we talked about earlier, but the limitation is you need 2 panels. You have to have that 33 volts of solar coming in. But again, that's with a buck boost voltage regulator from Amazon for $8, you know, and then you just connect the 2 panels to one side and the output to the other side. 2 little screws that hold it in place. Plug it in, and it's charging. And I'm about to test that. So there are some of the bullet points. There are a few others. There is a discounted price on this unit of $1,259. There is an Amazon coupon that you can clip if you go to the website and clip the coupon. Let's see. The delay, I think, was 14 milliseconds, if I'm not mistaken. And I can't seem to find it right now. But this is really an awesome machine. If you happen to lose the owner's manual, they have the owner's manual online as well. So there you go. That's all of the stats for nerds, and hopefully that gives you some information on this machine. I highly recommend it. Now, I've been running this machine for about 2 months now, and I've been depleting it and recharging it, and the numbers stay the same. So of course you're not going to tell in 2 months whether it has any depletion, but I'm extremely happy with it. I think I'm going to order the 300 watt one as well as a dedicated unit for the laser station. So there's your facts for nerds.